Okay, Rabbi, so let's begin Be'ez Hashem. A very, very, very crucial and important central bracha in the Heilige Shemonei Esrei. I don't know if we're going to get through the whole thing today. Maybe perhaps we shouldn't rush through it because it is definitely of the most important that we have of Shemonei Esrei. Not that we are to judge which one is more important, but there's definitely something to this bracha that talks to all of us, I think, and that is the bracha of Shema Koleinu. The bracha of Shema Koleinu is the bracha that many of us, I guess, connect to, maybe because it's the bracha that we always like to say our own personal requests in it, even though the whole Shemonei Esrei is really personal requests, or most of it. But this is one that we can really sort of stop for a bit and talk about what we need. So anything that's practical generally talks to us more. So let's begin. This is the last bracha of the middle section of Shemonei Esrei. Rav Schwab Zatzal points out that until now we have been pointing out and requesting our personal needs. Now we start the needs of our neshama. Okay? Now, what is the connection between this bracha and the previous one? Which, by the way, if you've noticed, every bracha in Shemonei Esrei, there's a specific sequence. There's a reason why one follows the other and follows the other one. There's a purpose, there's a build-up, there's a reason. So the question is, what is the connection between Shema Koleinu and the bracha that we had, which was, as we remember, as Tzemach David, which was, of course, davening for Mashiach, which we explained yesterday. So there's a Gemara in Megillah Yud Ches Amud Aleph that explains as follows: that when David HaMelech returns, Tefillah will return together with him. And the Shulchan Aruch says that we know in all previous brachas you're able to add your own personal requests. Here in Shema Koleinu it's the same. The Yaris Dvash points out that specifically here in Shemonei Esrei, since we ask for whatever we want, it shows. And by the way, there is nothing that you should not be able to ask for. People sometimes ask, like, can I ask for my football team to win tonight? And the answer is absolutely. It's not a waste of tefillah. It's a beautiful thing. Why? Because you're showing that there's nothing too small for the Rabbeinu Shalom. Nothing's insignificant and nothing cannot be accomplished through tefillah. So we may think that we're, quote unquote, bothering Hashem by my requests, by all of my things, right? And he'll neglect the small things, but Avada the Rabbeinu Shalom will not, which is why we start with Shema Koleinu. Hear our voice. Sometimes we don't know how to pronounce the words properly. Here we ask the Rabbeinu Shalom to hear our voices, right? To hear what we want and what we need. So let's begin. Shema Koleinu means, of course, hear our voice. We don't ask the Rabbeinu Shalom to hear our tefillahs, which is interesting. I would have said Shema letfilaseinu. Hear our tefillahs. Shema Koleinu. Hear our voice. The voice of our tefillah refers to what? Because of course Shemonei Esrei is always said quietly. It's meant to be said in a way that you yourself can hear it, but nobody else can hear it. So what is the call that we're referring to? It refers to kavanah. It refers to concentration. And even though we want to put into our tefillah, we say to Rabbeinu Shalom, listen to our words of tefillah with as much kavanah as we can possibly utter them. Chus v'rachim aleinu, spare us and have mercy on us. The word over here is chus, which is very different to the words of rachmana, which means to have mercy. The Vilna Gaon explains the word over here, chus, is to express a person's feelings, to spare or save something he made himself with tremendous care, almost like pity. And accept with compassion and favor our tefillah. Some tefillahs are only accepted by Hashem with tremendous amounts of rachamim. Just like a father wants his son to ask him questions, we're asking Hashem to want our tefillahs, because if Hashem wants our tefillahs, then they will be accepted. Kiel Shomer Tefillah, who always listens to our tefillahs, pleading on you. We lose the lashon over here, plural, tefillos, because it refers to the davening of all human beings, not only Klal Yisrael. Rashi in Dvarim actually points out the word over here, tachanun, is a request for matnas chinam, which means a present that we haven't actually earned, and we're asking Hashem and saying, even though we don't deserve it, we know we don't deserve it, our deeds don't deserve what Hashem is going to give us, but we're asking Hashem to give us all our wants and our needs. Excuse me, do not turn us away empty-handed, for you are our King. We're asking the Rabbeinu Shalom not to dismiss us without answering our tefillahs. When we say these words, we should be thinking that we are totally unworthy. And all we could do is put ourselves in the Rabbeinu Shalom's mercy. Picture a poor person who hasn't eaten for days. He's thirsty and hungry. He stretches out his hand for some nourishment, and he's begging for no one to slam the door in his face. The Avodah says we're saying to Hashem over here that even if Hashem cannot fulfill all of our requests, because maybe it's too much, or maybe we're not deserving, but at least give us something. You hear the praise of people with compassion. There's a medrash that says that even though Hashem listens to all the tefillahs of Klal Yisrael get special attention. And it depends on our schos and our merit, and it would make sense that Hashem should not send us away empty-handed, because we are turning to Hashem's rachamim. In Nusach Sfard we say tefillas kol peh, the listening of every mouth. Whenever we speak, we're asking Hashem to listen. Baruch atah Hashem, Shemonei Tefillah. We close the bracha who hears our prayers by expressing our emunah in Hashem, that He hears all of our tefillahs. Sometimes we don't actually realize the privilege we have of having the ability to ask and speak to Hashem whenever we want, and He's always listening. The Gemara in Yuma, Daf Nun Beis Amud tells us, Ashrecha Yisrael, how praiseworthy is Klal Yisrael. We don't even need an intermediate to bring our tefillahs to Hashem. We have a direct pathway to Him, especially during the times of tefillah. Imagine a person wants to go and meet a very prestigious individual. It would take appointments and all sorts of things, background checks and whatever it is, and there's no guarantee you'll even get a chance inside. A Rebbe once picked up his phone in front of his class in Cheder, and he was teaching them about the koyach of tefillah. And he picks up the phone, he put it on loudspeaker, and he called the White House. There is a number you can call the White House. And the lady picks up the phone and says, hello, the White House. Says, hi, good afternoon, can I please speak to the president? This person laughs, like, no, it's not how it works. You want to speak to someone in this department, that department, the secretary of that who will relay a message over to that guy to that guy, that guy to that guy. Maybe, who knows, maybe the president will or will not hear it, but it doesn't work that way. She's like, thank you very much, I appreciate it. He put down the phone. He said, listen, my dear children, who was teaching to a class. Here, I'm trying to speak to a boss of Adam, a president of the United States. Yes, maybe, possibly, could be one of the most powerful people in the world. And you can't even pick up a phone to speak to him, but the Melech Malch HaMelachim is ready and waiting to speak to us. You know what a privilege that is? You know what it is? And therefore, we see at this moment, Shema Kolenu, this is the culmination of all the middle brachas of Shemonei Esrei. Now is the time for a person to daven for all his personal requests. You need shidduchim for yourself, for other mishpacha, for other members of the family. You need parnasa, you need health. Klal Yisrael needs a Yeshua. Hostages need to become free. We need tremendous Yeshuas in Klal Yisrael. Now, the needs of Klal Yisrael are very great, but the koyach of tefillah is even greater than that and can accomplish the world. But we have to ask. Join us, Be'ezus Hashem, tomorrow for the third section of Shemonei Esrei, which is Hodah, and that's the bracha of V'tzei. Shkoyach.